Hello everybody, by special request, this is the tour of my Nortent Gamme 6. We'll start with a quick review of the outside and then we'll walk around and go into the inside. So the outside is here. Now that I have it figured out, it really takes me only about a half an hour to put it up, even getting the chimney up and the fireplace all set up. So that's a good thing. It took me a while to begin with to figure out how to do it. So I'll just walk around the outside a little bit. I'm here alongside the White River campground in southeastern Minnesota. The exterior diameter of this tent is 12 feet, and it gives you an idea then of what I can do on the inside with the space that I've given. So come on in, let me give you a quick tour. I have an entry mat outside just to help me keep my feet clean as I enter the tent. And we'll start out here on the left and we'll work our way around. So here's where I have my cot. As an old man, I prefer to sleep on a cot with a nice pad and a sleeping bag. I do let the fire go out at night, and so depending upon what the outside temperature is, the inside temperature matches eventually within about 4 or 5 degrees. So underneath the cot, I keep my firewood. I'm able to stoke the stove all night just from within my sleeping bag and on my cot. Keep my duffel underneath the other side. And this gives me at least a full night's worth of wood, and usually a lot more. I have a little bedside table back here where I keep my light and my phone and the thermometer that I use to tell me what the temperature is inside and what the temperature is outside. I have a cord that runs the circumference of the tent, and up here I have my keys, so I always know where I put my keys because that seems to be a problem for me. I have a flashlight, and that's what I use before I go to sleep to either read or just to have some light before I turn the lights out. I also have a carbon monoxide detector hanging there. A lot of people say you don't need it. I've been on enough situations where I trust the fact that I have a backup. I have a carbon monoxide detector whenever I'm burning inside the tent or have flame inside the tent. Use it to hang whatever I might need to hang to dry. And then over on this side, which is where that back door is, I have some cargo netting that I've hung here to help me dry my mittens and my hat and my coat and whatever else might be getting wet during my day. On the stove, I have a stove fan in my kettle. I can cook just very well over this stove. It takes full-size fireplace logs. I don't have to cut things up into teeny tiny pieces. I can get 3 or 4 logs in there at one time on a really cold winter night when I want it to burn quite a while. It burns very hot and it gets very warm inside this tent. It's very well adapted for this use. I have a pan underneath that helps me collect the ashes, and also whenever I have little bits of wood that kind of pop out, I just dump them in there and it keeps them from going through. I have 3 layers of ember-proof fire mats down below. The largest one here, and then I have 2 more underneath that. I use long neck tongs to help move the fire around. There's also a scraper that can help me to scrape out the ashes. The fan on top is driven solely by heat, and it keeps the entire tent warm instead of just the top. The heat in the tent obviously goes right up to the top of the tent, and it just kind of hangs there. It's a little bit over 6 feet at the top, so in the middle there I can stand up completely. I'm 5'11", so that is perfect when I need to stretch out. On the other side is what I consider my kitchen. So over here is my kitchen where I usually keep my containers of food and my cooking utensils and so forth. Varies a little bit. I don't use this tent much in the summer because it's much too warm, but if I'm using it in winter, I don't feel terrible about keeping supplies in here. The bears have all gone to sleep for the winter, so it's not a big deal. And then I have a chair and a table, and that's basically it. I don't have a lot crowding it, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of room in here for me to relax. Couple of things regarding the floor. I do have a full Gamme 6 floor, and on top of that I've placed some foam mats, kind that you would use in a child's playroom or to stand on in the kitchen. They provide some insulation underneath and make the floor much softer to walk on. I'll show you that in a second. On top of that, then you can see the camouflage mat is a mat that has insulation on the back. You can see here back far corner, it's aluminized on the underside, so that helps with the insulation a little bit. And when it's extremely cold, I can flop that over and I can have the aluminum side more toward the top, so it reflects more of the heat around in here. I don't do that very often, just when it gets really cold. I have a real nice car blanket that gives me some color and kind of brightens up the living room, if you will. So that's the living room. And let's take a look underneath here in the corner where I have the matting. And as you can see, I have the foam matting underneath, and that goes all the way from the entry door back to where the fireplace is, so it's not underneath the fireplace or anywhere in the back of the tent. So that's about it. The tent is nice. It's got an inside mesh, and then it has a full outside cover, so it keeps me pretty dry. I had some pretty wet conditions earlier this week, and it kept me pretty dry. So from Whitewater State Park in Minnesota, that's my Gamme 6. Thanks for watching.